Hello, beautiful soul. My name is Yulia, and I'm the voice of the podcast Love to Heal. This podcast outlines my journey from atheism to Judaism, exploring spirituality from diverse perspectives. It is my hope that my journey will inspire others to embark on their own adventure of self-discovery and spiritual growth. Since I'm a dancer and a teacher, I try to use my talents to help and volunteer at our synagogue whenever I can. Last winter, for instance, I taught the preschoolers various dances for the Hanukkah celebration. And this summer, I helped out at the summer camp to organize a theater performance. I had never staged a theater production before, but with the help of others, I thought I would give it a go. I have to say that every time I step foot in our synagogue, I end up learning a ton about Judaism, and being involved in this project proved to be an incredible learning opportunity for me. Just in the first meeting with our rabbi's daughter, Mushki, she runs the summer camp, I acquired some of the most essential Jewish knowledge that otherwise might have taken me, years to learn. What I realized soon after immersing myself in Judaism is that it takes a lifetime to learn the ways of the Torah. And oftentimes, one lifetime is not even enough. So then our soul comes back for more learning in new bodies. Especially for regular people like me who don't dedicate their whole life to Torah study, right? Of course, had I attended Hebrew school and graduated from a Jewish high school, I probably would know a lot more, but that is not the case. In our meeting about the camp performance, the first thing I noticed Mushki do, as soon as she took out a pen and paper to jot down our ideas, was that she wrote in the top right corner of the paper the Hebrew letters Bet Hey. Now, I had seen these letters many times on the newsletters that we receive from our synagogue, from Chabad, and also on the Hebrew school communication, but I wasn't exactly sure what they meant. So I asked, and she explained that this acronym, Bet Hey, which stands for Baruch Hashem, or in English, Blessed is God, is often written in the top right corner of a document to signify that this project is being carried out with God's help. She said that everything she does in life, she makes sure to include God. The letters in Hebrew, Bet Hey, they serve as a reminder that all her endeavors, projects, whatever it may be that she's working on, are undertaken with divine assistance. She says that she's so used to writing or typing these letters on papers that she didn't even notice that she had done it until I asked her about it. It's like second nature to her, and I absolutely loved this. You see, we grow up, at least in our society in the United States, where we are conditioned to believe in ourselves as the creators and managers of everything in our life. Sure, it sounds empowering, but a human being is only capable of so much. A human being is limited in what he can achieve on his own. With God's help, it's a totally different story. When you have God's help, first of all, you don't stress as much, and you don't feel such a heavy burden of work on your shoulders because you are literally dividing that work or responsibilities with God. If you let God help you, He does. It's truly amazing. It's wonderful. And it's something people need to know, that they don't have to do it alone. And when a plan of yours doesn't work out the way you wished it, you trust that God knows better, and a different, better plan will be presented to you at the right time and place. Oh, how much easier life becomes. Like I said, less stress, less disappointment, more miracles. Working together with Mushki, we quickly came up with a stellar idea for the play. The play was going to be a take on Frozen. So here's the plot. Anna and Elsa come to summer camp, In our synagogue, we call it Camp Gan Izzy. It's their first time, and the campers are excited to show their new friends around. At the end of the first week, it's time to prepare for Shabbat. Elsa tries braiding challah, but finds it difficult with her gloves on, so Anna suggests she take her gloves off just for a moment. The minute Elsa takes her gloves off, she freezes camp. Summer camp is now full of snow, and the campers actually love it because it's never happened before. They play in the snow, they have fun. But when it's time to go swimming at the pool, they realize that it's frozen, and so they get angry at Elsa. Elsa feels bad for ruining summer camp, and she flees to her castle. The campers realize they were mean to Elsa and want to bring her back in time for Shabbat. With love, kindness, and forgiveness, they manage to melt the snow and bring Elsa back for candle lighting. Now that we had the clear idea for the play, it was time to write the actual script. Mushki showed me numerous scripts from previous plays, and she also mentioned that they have a script and songwriter. It's actually a couple. The girl has a theater background and her husband is a musician. So in the past, they wrote the plays along with the songs. But this time, Mushki wanted to try something new. And she proved to be way more tech-savvy than me. She asked AI to write the script, providing it with the prompts we came up with. And let me tell you, AI came out with a tremendous script, complete with songs and everything. I was in awe. We started discussing the songs, and here is when I learned something completely new to me. It turns out that in Orthodox tradition, a woman or girl above a certain age cannot sing in front of men. This means that we couldn't, for example, give Elsa a singing part. Well, at least not a solo. Furthermore, Orthodox men cannot even listen to a recording of a woman singing, which is why in the past they had always asked this musician guy to record the songs for kids so they could sing along, to learn from these songs, or even just use in the performance. I asked Mushki why that is, and she explained that it has to do with modesty. That the singing voice of a woman is considered sensual and possibly stimulating to men. It is therefore forbidden for a man to hear a woman other than his immediate family sing. This was such a shock to me. Obviously, in today's world, this seems quite severe. But hear me out. When it comes to married men, the Torah puts such enormous value on the bond between a husband and wife that it does not allow for any potential damage to a man's undivided and unequivocal devotion and attraction to his one and only partner in life. Isn't that so beautiful? And if the man is not married, well, then it makes sense too that he is not distracted by a female singer, that he does not become attracted to a female solely based on her physical beauty, which includes the voice. And this is something that secular Westerners have been accustomed to for ages now. Most people I know have gotten married or dated those they felt attracted to because of looks, talents, money, right? Very few have actually found their soulmate the Jewish way, which means they seriously considered the spiritual aspect and purpose of a relationship, the shared values and opinions of family members that are also very important when it comes to marriage. By the way, and this is the hardest one for me, being a dancer, the same rule of men being restricted from enjoying a woman's physical qualities goes for dancing. Men are not permitted to gaze at a woman, which is the complete opposite of what I've lived with for over 30 years. My whole life has consisted of dancing with and for men, so to speak. I spent my 20s and most of my 30s performing for all types of crowds that always included men. Now that I look back, I understand the reasons for my resentment towards my significant others in past relationships. Because before marrying my husband, I always dated dancers, which naturally generated a lot of jealousy from both sides. Because watching your significant other in a close embrace with someone else is not very enjoyable. Let's just put it that way. It all makes so much sense now. I remember those days when my life consisted of going out salsa dancing. I thought the only way for a man to become and stay interested in me was for me to dress as revealingly as possible and to dance as sensually as possible. Boy, was I wrong. I speak about this extensively, by the way, in my episode on modesty, so I won't repeat myself here. And if you haven't listened to that episode, please do. It's very interesting. But in short, I now know that the less women reveal themselves to the opposite sex, the better. The problem for me as a ballroom dance teacher, though, is very real. If I continue teaching dance, it's impossible for me to adhere to this Jewish rule because I teach boys and men to dance and I'm their partner in the dance, which means they look at me, they are in physical contact with me constantly. I would need to quit my ballroom dancing career altogether, which I don't think I'm ready to do in this life. Because of this, there's often this internal conflict in me lately that I've noticed. I have students that have been with me for years, and then I have new young students that are so excited about dance, and I can see how much happiness it brings them, and I love being part of that. Being a teacher in general has always been gratifying because I can see the progress that students make, how their confidence grows, how their posture improves, and even how I become a sort of confidant for them. Also, when I perform, it brings people joy. They come up to me after the show and they thank me for my art. So if God gave me this talent, should I quit it? I do want to become more observant and follow the ways of the Torah, but how can I give up that which is such a big part of me? So this has been on my mind for some time now, and I plan to speak to my rabbi about it and see what he thinks, what he suggests. But I'm sure that he will tell me to continue to do what I love because not everybody, not every Jew and not every person in the world is meant to be orthodox, to adhere to every single rule in the Torah. From what I understand, as long as we believe in God and we do positive mitzvahs, we do good things in this world, that is enough. I have a feeling that's what he would tell me. Okay, I need to get back to the summer camp because I obviously went on a complete tangent here. So we wanted to include some Jewish songs in our play, right? And we were able to find on Spotify various songs sang by men, such as Shalom Aleichem. This is a song sang on Shabbat to welcome the ministering angels into the home. Other songs that the AI came up with, we had the male musician record for us, and the kids sang along to the recording. And it was groups of kids singing aloud on stage, so that is okay. I also helped choreograph some simple dance moves for the kids to go along with the songs, so we were all set in that respect. But then came the fun job of tryouts and assigning roles. This was my first time running auditions, which was a very new experience for me, but I enjoyed it very much. After I had assigned all the roles and rehearsals were underway, some actors dropped out, others got sick, and others couldn't make it for whatever reason. We had only 2 weeks to put this production together, and I started to get worried if we could even pull this off. We had so many changes to make with people dropping out and roles changing and everything. And that's when I realized that I was once again not fully trusting God. I would speak to Mushki about all the last minute changes with the actors and the script, and I noticed that she remained completely calm. Unlike me, who was worrying all the time about how this would turn out. Mushki didn't have a worry in her mind because she knew that God would help us, and whatever the outcome had to be, that's what it would be. All we could do was try our best. And that is what we did. We rehearsed with the kids as much as the time allowed. We came up with ways to make the script more simple, to assign more roles to those kids that could take on more. And then we had others participate in backstage help, etc. The day of the performance, the room was full. So many families and friends came to see their kids perform in this Jewish play. It was amazing. In the show, we had, I think, upward of 100 kids participate, if you put them all together, from like age 5 to probably age 14. The little ones danced and sang, and the older ones, they actually had speaking parts. They had larger roles. To my astonishment, the show ran so smoothly that I still, a month or so later, as I'm talking about this, I still cannot believe we pulled it off. I mean, I know how. It was with God's help, of course. I just can't believe it. Everyone that attended the show was blown away by the amazing job of the actors, the beautifully set up stage, the props, the music, the dancing, but above all, I think they really appreciated the meaning of the play, which was that love and forgiveness work wonders. It was truly an amazing experience for me, and as you can see, I learned a lot. And starting in October this year, I will be once again volunteering to teach preschoolers a Hanukkah dance. My youngest daughter is no longer in preschool. She started kindergarten this year, but it will be nice to teach the little ones and again be part of the Hanukkah celebration at our shul. I suppose there are several takeaways in this episode. First of all, remember that God is always there for you. He's always there to help you. So invite him into all your projects and endeavors. Include him in your thought process, in your plans and your ambitions. Trust that whatever you take on will be so much easier with his help. Second of all, if you have an opportunity to volunteer or help out, do it. Every time I do something new, I step out of my comfort zone or I just do a mitzvah from the heart, it ends up benefiting me, I feel like, just as much, if not more. So give, give, give. If you found this episode to be interesting, please share it with your friends and family because that is the best way to support this show. And I will leave you today with a very, very short saying that my rabbi, Zushi Greenberg, learned from his father. His father had an incredible life story. He survived the Holocaust, the Siberian prison camp in Russia, the 6-day war in Israel, and many more difficulties. Each time he didn't think he was going to survive, and because he thought he had nothing to lose, he continued practicing Judaism, observing mitzvahs in secret, and in whatever way possible. He never stopped believing in God, and God saved him each time. He lived to have many children. Our rabbi is the 6th of them. And our rabbi was actually born in Russia right before the family's immigration to Israel. After surviving so many hardships and receiving so many blessings, our rabbi's father would teach his children to always rely on God and let God take care of the difficulties. He would simply tell them, quote, "Don't worry, let God worry.